talk to us about how you started that journey and how you won over the hearts and minds of people to invest in this in the first place?
Yeah, so it's been a long road. I think we started back in 2021 with that initial kind of requirements gathering and business case. But really the driver for Salford was a stable payroll. We've had a system in place for over 20 years, which was becoming a bit of a burning platform. Yeah. Lots of kind of scaffolding and sticky tape to keep payroll running every month. So that was the real driver. And we had a few kind of key moments where payroll was kind of on the rocks a couple of times. And that really kind of got hearts and minds focused in the right direction. So yeah, we went through a whole process, working with the wider university, doing some focus groups, kind of understanding what are people's pain points, what annoys you every day, what do you dread doing as, you know, engaging with HR, what are those challenges, and kind of pulled those together along with our own, you know, HR-based, payroll-based challenges that we face daily. And a lot of it came down to the fact that we had a wide landscape of applications across the departments, so multiple solutions for different transactional activities across HR and payroll. You know, we had a system for payroll, we had a system for learning, a system for document management, a system for recruitment. None of them talk to each other. So your data quality is rough at the best of times, and there's so much manual handling and manual processing. So when you can pull all that together into a business case to explain, you know, we can save this number of hours from people doing this really boring manual stuff in their day-to-day role, which we can then, whilst it's not a cashable benefit, but we can kind of repurpose that time to more student-facing activity or more value-add activity, then you've kind of got that business case in place to get this kind of project over the line. It's not easy, it's a lot of money, it's a lot of investment of time as well. But yeah, it was the right thing to do.
You touched on there about kind of cashable benefits, and what often people do is they rush to get, this is our quantifiable, this will be that return on investment in. And what's always been so remarkable and genuinely inspiring about Salford is you put that staff experience really at the heart of what you were doing, what you were aiming to do. You talk to me a little more about some of those kind of qualitative benefits that you envisaged, and indeed where you are on that journey, kind of realising some of those.
Yeah, well, it's, you know, as a university, we've got a real focus on digital transformation, and whilst our students come in and have this great experience from the staff side, you know, you'd have a new starter come and join you on your team, and you'd give them a paper holiday card to fill in with a wet signature. Yeah. So that experience just wasn't quite there as a match. So that was always a big driver for us. So one of the massive benefits is obviously the whole concept of self-service for both employees and managers, and having that visibility of data. So for years, you know, you've got no idea off the top of your head how many days holiday you've got left, or what you've booked previously, or what address you've got sitting in the system because you've moved house 6 months ago and did I update it, or I've got married, I've changed my name, how do I do that? You know, so it was, that visibility was just never there. So moving to a product like Oracle, we've given colleagues and staff that self-service, that visibility of data, which, you know, is a little overwhelming at times because suddenly people can see everything and there's nowhere to hide. So, you know, you've got to do a good job with your data migration and all that good stuff. But yeah, it from an employee perspective, it changes the game. It really does.
And you touched on there about, we touched at the beginning about some of the experiences and challenges in higher education about adoption, and there you're talking about some of the self-service and experience there. Talk to me a little bit about how you've kind of broken some of that mould in terms of the adoption that you've seen from pretty much day one, and some of that journey you took people on to get them. This wasn't a scary thing that's been done to them as opposed to something that you were doing for the greater good.
So our focus on change and engagement throughout the whole project was front and centre. You know, it's project management, but it's also change management. And a project like this doesn't land if your change and engagement isn't effective. People just don't buy into the vision and the journey that you're on. So it's been a real kind of purposeful journey for us in that sense. We did a lot of early engagement, like I mentioned earlier, around, you know, that business case building. We had the university involved in kind of pulling that together in terms of feeding in their requirements. So it was an opportunity at the point that we were starting to kind of go out to the university to kind of said, you know, you said we did, and share back some of these benefits that we were going to be able to deliver. So a lot of visibility, a lot of sharing what we were doing, lots of kind of sneak peeks, this is coming. We had a cast of over 100 change champions that we engaged from around the organisation, which were just absolutely critical in really embedding Oracle into individual schools and departments where everybody's kind of uses the system or has different processes. So they were able to kind of talk new product terms to their kind of teams in a language they understood, which was really, really beneficial. And we almost did too much, you know, we purposely did too much. We had, on Go Live Day, we had pop-up desks all over campus where colleagues could come and grab some merchandise and to ask us questions and stuff. We purposely created this Oracle brand for the organisation so that when we were out talking to kind of groups of colleagues, we took a recognisable product with us so that when it went live, everybody knew what Oracle was. So it worked really well, but I think you've got to bring colleagues on the journey with you. We put in lots of drop-in sessions after we went live. So again, there was that two-way feedback channel all the way along, which really helped users with knowing where to go for help and ask for support and all that kind of good stuff.
Di, thank you so much for today. Really appreciate taking the time to talk us through your journey, the candour, the battle scars, but equally the benefits that you're now realising. So thank you from us at Namos, and look forward to hearing more about your journey into the future.
Thank you very much.